Hi everyone and welcome to Mighty Kiddos. Today's topic is very important to me and it's very important to it should be very important to everybody in general. We will be discussing mental health. What are the triggers, what we can do to diminish its effect on our daily life, and just to find who really gets affected by this. You'll be surprised by some of this information. So if you're ready and interested to learn a little bit more, stay tuned. Hi guys, thank you so much for joining me. Like I said, today's National Mental Health Awareness Day, and I wanted to hop on here and just share a little bit of the information that I have and that I've gone and that has been helpful for me in the past. I might get emotional throughout parts of this video, just bear with me. The first thing I want to talk about is just the importance of mental health, period. And I feel that not a lot of support is out there, or there's still that sense of taboo to talk about depression, or to even, admit to your loved ones that you are depressed, or you're suffering with anxiety, or you're suffering with grief. All these things that can affect our mental health. A lot of the times we feel like it's a hush-hush topic and we shouldn't share it with others. A disclaimer, there might be some triggers in terms of the topics that I will be discussing and stories that I might touch upon. So please be aware that there will be topics on miscarriage, grief, and just depression in general. So if you're sensitive to this, you could go ahead and skip this video. I want to share a little bit about my story for the past 2 years. I have gone through 4 miscarriages and they have been rough. I am now happy and blessed to have my little guy, baby Z. He came at the right time, under the perfect circumstances. But I have to say that it isn't always easy. For instance, just the other day we went to the pumpkin patch, and we were there. The last time I was there, I was pregnant with my soon to then be 3rd miscarriage. I didn't know it, but we were happy. We had such a wonderful day at the pumpkin patch. We were there to pick up a pumpkin, and I was already playing with how we were going to set up the pregnancy reveal. We were going to do a photo shoot, so we were picking pumpkins to represent that. So and obviously after that event, 3 weeks after we went to the pumpkin patch, I had my 3rd miscarriage. Like I said, it's a really tough topic. I did, once we went back with our family, this time it was 3 days ago, we were on the hayride, and I told my husband, I looked at him and I was like, babe, the last time we were here, we were pregnant, and, we lost the baby. And although I was holding my baby Z, and I'm so blessed and so thankful to have him, I couldn't help but have tears because I still feel the pain. I still feel the sting of the event, but I have to say, although those moments were the hardest for me, I have learned so much about myself, so much about healing, so much about having compassion, that I feel like I want to share that with you guys, because you guys might be on the same boat that I was in. And at that time I felt so lost. I felt like I was in such a dark spot, and I felt angry at myself that I shouldn't feel so much pain, because first of all, I already had a child, right? There's so many people that have this struggle and never have a child. So the first thing I want to share with you about mental health is that I feel it affects everyone. I was just doing a little bit of research before filming this, and the article said that only 17% of the US population is considered to be in optimal mental health. And it's ridiculous. That is crazy. Could you imagine? The majority of us are suffering of some type of mental health issues, yet we're not talking about it. We're not sharing it with our friends as much. We're not looking for that support. We are feeling alone. Well, I'm here to hopefully encourage you to change that for yourself and for those around you. Well, I am here to advocate for that. Please, please, please feel free to know that there's communities out there that want to support and help you. There are some steps you can take for mental health. The community I speak up for and for the channel of Mighty Kiddos is basically to raise awareness of neurodiversity. We want to support those with kids and with kids that have special needs, special abilities, and their parents. And I have to say, a lot of the parents, when they first get a diagnosis of their child being autistic or having, a preemie and knowing that they have cerebral palsy, just developmental delays, their first feeling is that of grief, right? They feel sad because all of the ideas that they had for their child are all of a sudden shattered. And I've been so blessed to see how many people, how many parents that thought that they, were broken by this diagnosis have found their way up and now are being badass parents, teaching their kids, learning with them, being their advocate. So there is a way out when you have depression. There is a way out when you have anxiety. A couple of the things I do want to mention is that depression and anxiety does not only affect adults. 20% of children and adolescents will go through depression in their lifetime. That is a huge number. I would love to see that be lowered. There are some factors that do increase mental health issues, and that is race, socioeconomic status, and in some areas or some aspects, gender as well, and sexuality. So those are aspects that we can all relate to in one point or another. So now that we know the factors that can affect mental health, or I want to share with you the simple everyday practices that can help you get out of that hole, or at least can bring awareness to you so you could be that help that somebody else may need. It is important for us to journal often, or whenever we feel the need that we have an emotional overload. When I was pregnant with baby Z, I was very afraid. I had so many fears. I feel like my past experiences were keeping me from embracing this pregnancy and this experience. I was speaking to a psychologist through the hospital, and one of the tips she gave me was journal whatever it is you're feeling. And I'm like, I don't need to journal. I know what my feelings are. And believe it or not, one of the things I realized through journaling that I think my consciousness and my personality would not have let me embrace was to realize that I was feeling guilty. I was feeling like it was my fault I was having these miscarriages. I was mad at my body. And I was pregnant in the middle of the pandemic. I mean, it was 2020 and there was no communication with people. I mean, I rarely saw my friends. I was very adamant at keeping my distance from others. And it got to me. It really got to me. I was feeling really sad and very depressed. And I spoke to my sister and one of my friends, and I told them, I think that I'm feeling a little bit down. Can't we do a virtual makeup session? So my sister couldn't make it, but my friend did. So it was really fun that I was able to connect with them, to reach out to them for help. And they were like, let's do it, girl, let's do it. And it was very nice to just be in front of somebody, even if it was virtual, and we were just doing, she was doing her makeup, I was doing my makeup, we were talking about silly stuff, and that just brought so much peace to me. It made me forget my sadness. It made me focus in the moment and the beauty that was before me. Another thing that I would say, besides talking to your loved one, is having mindful practices. Another tip that my psychologist gave me was, I remember telling her, I don't know if I'm going to want a baby shower. I don't know if I want to decorate the nursery. And she told me, hang on, take a breath, Giovanna, step back. She's like, don't think about that. Think about today. Think about what you have today. And that was like mind blowing. It's true. Why was I thinking about baby shower? Why was I thinking how I was going to feel then? It was all about the moment. What do I feel now? Okay, right now I'm pregnant. Yes, right now I have the baby. Right now he's healthy. Right now I'm happy. Let me focus on that. Sometimes our anxiety and our depression kicks in when we think of the possibilities or when we go back to the past, right? So it is important to keep that perspective in mind, the present. Bring yourself back, ground yourself to have that health that you need in order to continue and not go down that deep hole. Now, another topic that was important for me to learn, and believe me, I'm still learning this, is having self-compassion. I feel that in order for you to be healthy mentally, part of that is being compassionate to yourself. There are times where we're going to be sad. There's going to be triggers that are going to come and, remind us of our unresolved traumas, and that's okay. Just let that thought come, give it its holding space, sit with it for a little bit, but also move on. Be compassionate to yourself. Say, it is a beautiful day. I am happy today. I'm alive today. I have so much to be grateful for. Even though I don't feel it right now, I know I am going to be grateful for it after this season, after this moment. So
practicing and learning how to practice self-compassion is definitely a plus and definitely a must-do. Other thing would be educating yourself on mental health. Educating, if you already know you have a certain diagnosis, if you are suffering of depression or anxiety due to a loved one having passed away, or because your child has been diagnosed with a medical disorder or a medical diagnosis, just be mindful that you're not the only one. I guarantee you, you are not the only one going through what you're feeling. So educate yourself on that. Look for support groups, whatever it is your way to express and look for health, embrace it. A lot of people have found healing through poetry, through art, through yoga and meditation. So just figure out what works well for you and go for it. We want constant maintenance for our body and our mind so we can maintain that health. Another thing that might be helpful for you, I personally haven't tried it, but it's CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. And the essence of that therapy is basically redirecting or changing the way you think. That we are our worst enemy. We are the one that brings us, sometimes we put ourselves down with the way we talk, or sometimes the things we heard growing up, we repeat it to ourselves and now it becomes our truth. So cognitive behavioral therapy can be very helpful in these situations. And another aspect that always helps is connecting with nature, going out for a walk. If you know that you haven't slept, take a little nap, go outside and get some sunlight, lay on the grass, lay on the ground, do some exercise. You could benefit from those endorphins. Just last week was a very rough week for me emotionally. I feel like I am a person that likes to give care to others constantly, but sometimes I forget about myself and I forget to fill my own cup. And I think that's what was happening to me last week. I was just overwhelmed with, caring for this person and that person emotionally, that I just forgot about myself and I hadn't slept. And I think out of 5 days last week, I think I cried 3 days. Where I just felt overwhelmed and I didn't know why, and I just wanted to shake it off and I wanted to get rid of it. And you know what set me back? Was taking a nap. I took a 2-hour nap for 2 days straight, and it was like, I love the world again. It was so different. And I've always known that about myself. I know that in order for me to have mental balance and mental health, I need a nap. But I was so worried about everybody else that I forgot to take care of myself. So always put yourself first. You can't help others. You cannot give from an empty cup. But just remember, don't feel guilty. Practice self-compassion and fill your cup. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to give anybody anything from you. Now, a very important thing that I do want to discuss, and I think it is important to consider and know in regards to mental health, is really know your triggers, right? When you feel something, when you wake up and you're feeling a little off, communicate it to someone. Either you could text your girlfriend, say, hey, dude, I feel kind of off today. I had a weird dream, or this came to mind. Talk to your spouse, whoever it is you feel comfortable with, bring it out. Just think about it. Where is this anxiety? Where are these thoughts? Where is this depression and sadness coming from? Is it just a seasonal thing, or is this something real that I need to totally work through? There's also times where it isn't seasonal. It isn't just triggered by, circumstantial situations. Because if we don't take care of them and we don't find the balance, the depression is going to come and take a hold of you, and things are going to get way out of hand a lot longer than they should. So just pay attention to your triggers. Know where they're coming from. And pay attention. This isn't seasonal. This happens all the time. Rarely I feel happy. Then if it is a situation like that, then please look for professional help. They are there to help you. There's any books you recommend, any other techniques that that have helped you, please comment below. I am really excited that you have made it this far. If you made it this far through the video, I know it was a longer video, but it was a lot of information I wanted to share with you. And just know that you are not alone. You are not the only one going through these emotions, through these changes. But what I do want is for there to be less people feeling this way. So let's make change in this world. Let's talk to our children about this. We'll be doing a video on raising emotionally intelligent children. Hopefully we can teach them techniques and tools that will guide them or lead them to a healthier mental life. So guys, thank you so much for joining me once again. I appreciate it. So sorry for the heavy topics and getting emotional here, but this is just how it is. And I wanted to embrace this day and spread awareness out there that mental health is not as uncommon as we think. A lot of us are dealing with it, and struggling with it. So let's support one another, encourage each other, and just spread kindness everywhere we go. Thank you so much for your time, guys. I will see you on our next one.